I'm doing a pilgrimage for 2 days, walking to Scherpenheuvel, and I'm gonna do it the way they did it in the Middle Ages. Hi there, I'm Kaat from Steps by Kaatje and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm starting a 2-day walk to Scherpenheuvel, which is a famous pilgrimage site here in Belgium. And I want to do it the old-fashioned way, which means that I'm gonna try to survive with as little as possible. So yeah, I'm quite excited. I looked into what a pilgrimage was like in the Middle Ages, see if I could work something out like that. Don't know if it's gonna work, but just come along with me and we'll explore the way to Scherpenheuvel. Te voet naar Scherpenheuvel in 2 days.
I set out on a pilgrimage, 2 days and 40 miles, with just my coat and simple gear, embracing ancient trials, through forests deep and valleys wide, beneath the open sky. I walk the path of history, where pilgrims used to lie.
I think this is going to be a long way. This already broke down, so I'll have to tie this back together. Hopefully it'll hold now. This already, it's also cutting into my shoulder, so I put something around it, so now it's hopefully going to cut less. And my feet, I guess sandals are not really my thing. So yeah, but lucky I have some socks with me. Homemade socks. I think I knitted them myself a long time ago. So I'll put those on and hopefully it will hurt a little bit less. This video will be part of the October challenge of the Stealth Camping Alliance, which was set by Steps by Kaatje. Oh, that's me? Okay, yeah, I set this challenge. I set it to a primitive camp challenge. So on my pilgrimage, I want to sleep on the way somewhere where I can find maybe a little shelter or something. And I have only this with me, which is not very much. And yeah, I'm gonna spend the night there, see how that's going to work. And for my way to Scherpenheuvel, I'm gonna use this old map. As you can see, there was a lot more forest at that time, but yeah, we'll do with whatever we can get, and we'll just keep on walking, and at some point we'll get there.
The trail is long, the weather's kind, the forecast's in my favor. Each step I take, each breath I breathe, I savor every flavor. The scent of earth, the song of birds, the whisper of the breeze. I walk in echoes of the past, through fields and neath the trees.
Let me tell you just a tiny little bit of history about this Basilica of Kortenbos. It's all about the little statue right over there, which is Mary, and it's a statue that was set here the first time like in the beginning of the 17th century, and it was to help protect travelers around here because there were a lot of robbers around, so people came here to pray for safe travels. Soon it became a little church, a little chapel, and then it became a bigger church, and finally it ended up being this basilica, and it's still a site for pilgrimage, so a lot of people will come down here as a pilgrim. So I needed to stop here as well. And the 1st of May, there is a big pilgrimage from the Abbey in Averbode down here. So yeah, because this basilica is part of the Abbey in Averbode. So yeah, I thought it was interesting to know. But I need to go and do some more kilometers because I'm really slow. Not getting anywhere today. And Frodo is nicely waiting for me outside.
Bread and cheese. cheese and sausage packed, I journey on my way. Water, beer, and nature's cheer, I greet the break of
I just
day.
had to walk back 500 meters because I dropped my sweater. So yeah, now I have a sweater run over by a tractor.
Underneath the ancient trees or in a cave so wide, I find my shelter from the night with stars my only guide.
I do want to show you what I brought for lunch, dinner, breakfast. Yeah, will all be the same. First of all, some bread, a sausage, and a little knife. You know, in the Middle Ages, they definitely had a knife with them, and it would probably be a lot bigger, and it would not only be for bread and sausage, but it would also be for protection, because it was quite dangerous to travel in the Middle Ages. I have a little pocket, and what's in here? Brought some cheese, some food for Frodo, and 2 hard-boiled eggs. I guess I'll eat this one for lunch because it doesn't look very good anymore. So, yeah, and I have some water to drink, but I also brought beer. You know why I brought beer? Besides for the fact that it's tasty and I like drinking beer, the occasional beer anyway. Well, in the Middle Ages, the water that they had wasn't always very clear because the rivers, they would be used for just everything. So yeah, they would drink beer to be safe. It would probably be less alcoholic as it is right now, but they would have beer because that was the only thing that was safe. Well, beer and wine. So yeah, but I'm gonna have some lunch. Ooh. Cheers. This idea about doing this pilgrimage of 2 days with a primitive camp, and kind of like they did it in the Middle Ages, that started when I was going to Santiago de Compostela last year, which I did on a bike and on foot, part of it. I was wondering at that time, so how must it have been like for people in the Middle Ages to do the same? It must have been quite different from my experience from last year. So that's why I wanted to do this video and try myself what it's like. And I must say, it's a bit harder than I thought because of the luggage I'm carrying. It's not comfortable. I don't have a backpack. It's yeah, I've been losing stuff along the way, so I had to go back and all that. Yeah, it's not really comfortable, so I'm not going very fast, but I'm going, which is important. And also, you know, in Europe we had a lot of pilgrimage around in the Middle Ages, and they would mainly go to like Rome, Jerusalem. A pilgrim would never travel alone. So what I'm doing here, nobody would do it at that time because it was just way too dangerous to travel on your own. There were too many robbers around that would attack you, rob you, and kill you if you're in no luck. So yeah, so they would always travel in group. They would come together in bigger cities like Aachen, maybe Maastricht or other places. They would come together and form a group and then go out on a pilgrimage together. Also, pilgrims usually would stay in places along the way, not camp out like what I will be doing tonight. They would stay in cafes where they could have something to eat and where they could sleep. So, but I'm quite sure that every once in a while those pilgrims did have to spend the night along the way in the forest, wherever they could find a bit of shelter and sleep just with their coats over as a blanket and all that. So yeah, I guess that's what I will be trying tonight. First, let's have a little bit more beer.
With bread and cheese and sausage packed, I journey on my way. Water, beer, and nature's cheer, I greet the break of day. Underneath the ancient trees or in a cave so wide, I find my shelter from the night with stars my only guide. The Basilica head, a beacon shining bright. Through hardship and through history, I journey to the light. With every step a story told, with every mile a song, I honor those who walked before, their spirits make.
I did about 15 kilometers now, which is not really very good. I still have 25 kilometers to go to Scherpenheuvel. I wanted to do another 10 today, but I don't know if I'm gonna make it. It's really, my shoulders are hurting. Yeah, I definitely know why they invented good backpacks. Well, just take a little rest and keep on going. It's the only way.
With bread and cheese and sausage packed, I journey on my way. Water, beer, and nature's cheer, I greet the break of day. Underneath the ancient trees or in a cave so wide, I find my shelter from the night with stars my only guide. Journeys in the Basilica, a sight for weary eyes, a testament to faith and strength in me.
I did 21 kilometers now and I'm really tired. I trying to eat something, but it's a bit dry. I'm not very hungry. I think I have done too much today. But I have still some beer. Cheers. I was hoping to do about 25 kilometers today. I don't know if I'm gonna have the courage to do another 4. We'll see. We'll just go a little bit further. See how far that's going to be. Come on, Frodo.
To faith and strength beneath the endless skies, I walk the path of pilgrims old with gratitude and grace. For every step a blessing earned in this sacred timeless place.
I found this little pine tree forest. I'm gonna go inside and look if I can find a little shelter to sleep. It's about time to go to sleep. So yeah, let's check it out. There are a lot of low branches on the trees and it's quite small, but I do think I'm gonna stay here. So let's go and find a spot where I can sit down and rest. I finally did 25 kilometers. I didn't think I was going to make it, but I did. And so now I'm really tired, but I only have 15 kilometers left to go tomorrow, which is good. For my primitive camp, I have this sheep skin to sleep on. I have my coat to keep me warm, I hope. Like this. But it's very thin, so I did bring an extra shawl, little blanket, whatever you want to call it, so that it'll keep me warm, hopefully. And I also still have my sweater that I can put on, which might help as well. So, but I think this can count for primitive camp. I wonder if I'm gonna sleep at all. I hope I will, but I'll let you know tomorrow morning how that all did go. And for now, yeah, I'm just gonna sit a little bit and I think I'm gonna try to have an early night because I'm really very tired. Yeah, so Frodo is gonna watch over me tonight, which is good, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning. This is day 2 of my walk to Scherpenheuvel. We're gonna do another 15 kilometers today, but first I'm gonna have a little bit of breakfast here in my little forest where I slept tiny little bit. I think the first 3 hours, I slept on and off. I kept on turning this way, and then this way because it started hurting, so I have to turn again. And then I think I was awake for about maybe an hour, even more. Tried to sleep a little bit. Maybe slept for maybe half an hour. And then I think I've been awake for 2 hours now, waiting for it to get light. Yeah, it's, in the fall it does get light later, dark early, long nights to be out. But yeah, let's put it this way. If I don't have to sleep on a sheepskin again or on a hard floor, I won't do it again. But I'm glad I tried. I'm proud of myself that I did, and that I didn't cheat and didn't bring an air mattress or anything to put underneath. So yeah, proud of that. But but I think I'll be able to walk 15 kilometers today. I hope. Anyway, after having breakfast, I should be able to. I do want to show you on my little map where I am. I'm about here. Still quite a ways to go.
Walking through the sacred door, feel the spirits touch the floor. Voices rise, they fill the air, ancient echoes everywhere. Candles flicker, shadows dance, in this realm of pure expanse. Old stories carved on every wall, silent prayers they softly call. On this pilgrimage we find peace within our troubled minds. In this music church.
Time for a little rest. I did more than 8 kilometers, so I'm happy. Means I've only about 7 left to go. I think I'll be able to handle that. I'm gonna need a little bit of food, but I still have plenty of food left. See, bread. And the cheese is all gone, but I still have sausage and still have 1 egg. So yeah, I'll be able to eat something. But maybe it's time for a little shout out to a channel, and that channel is Paul's Long Walk of Paul's Lange Wandeling. It's a guy that I met in the beginning of 1919, I think, when we were working for the same company, and he was getting ready to go on a pilgrimage to Jerusalem, which he tried at that time, but he didn't get any further than Greece, which, by the way, is still quite a challenge going from Belgium to Greece. And then finally he did it in 2022. I hadn't heard from him for more than 30 years. Then we ran into each other last year when I did my Santiago de Compostela, and so we were on the same meeting. He also made a YouTube video about this trip to Jerusalem, and now this year in 2024 he went to Trondheim, which is the Olaf Trail in Norway, but he started it in Belgium, and he made short videos about it. If you're interested, go check him out. I'm gonna have some bread and then I'll do the last 7 kilometers, get it over with.
We find peace within our troubled minds. In this music church we see harmony in melody.
Yes, I I made it to the Basilica of Scherpenheuvel. He's right behind me here, and it's a really beautiful building. You have over there a dome which has 7 sides, and that's because of Mary and the joys and the sorrows of Mary, that they build it like that. And there is also a big tower right here. There are 49 bells up there, and it was destroyed in the French Revolution, but they rebuilt it nicely, so really beautiful. And inside it's beautiful decorated. I'll go inside later and I'll show you what it looks like. And on top of the dome, on the outside, there are some golden stars. Beautiful. So, but I guess this is it for my journey. I'm really happy with the primitive camp I had, because it was, in a nice spot. It was quite dry, not too much condensation, and no snails, which was important. Only a few mosquitoes, but okay, there were not too many, so I could handle those. Yep, and I think that will be it for this little video. I hope you enjoyed walking with me, and I of course hope to see you on another adventure. Bye bye.